This lesson is about arithmetic sequences. This is when you add or subtract the same number to get the next term of the sequence. Because it's always the same number, you have a d value. This is called the common difference, because it's the same every time. You might be asked to find the nth term. This means you use a simple formula. A sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. What does all of that mean? A sub root n just means the nth term, which is what you're looking for. A sub root 1 really just means the first term of this sequence, which makes sense because it has a subroot of 1. And n means really just what the number of terms is. Let's do an example. Let's say you have something like this. What would the d value equal? Well, we already know that the d is what you multiply these parentheses by right here, the common difference. So you just have to look and see what the parentheses are being multiplied by, which is right here. So your d, or common difference, is 2. Now we're just going to solve to find the first 5 terms of this sequence. Well, therefore we automatically know the first term because of our formula has the first term in it. So that 5 is your first term. So you go ahead and plug in 2 to your formula because that's the number you're looking for. That's what the n means. The n means which term you're looking for. So that's your second term. And you do the same thing for the third term. And you get 9. That seems like a lot of work. Well, there's a pretty simple trick. If you look here, you see that the first number is 5, the second number is 7, and the third number is 9. Well, your common difference is 2. So each time, the number from the last one just goes up by 2. So you write your answer like this. 5, 7, 9, and so on and so forth. Put a little ... so that you know that the sequence goes on forever. And that's your answer. Let's do another example. For this one, let's say we're trying to find the first 7 terms. So once again, you can find your d just by looking. Your 4 is what multiplies the parentheses, so you know that must be the common difference. And you can still find your first term just by looking. 3. Knowing that the common difference is 4, we can simply add 4 to the first term and get the second term, add 4 to the second term and get the third term, add 4 to the third term and get the fourth term, and so on and so forth. So, you go ahead and write your answer. I mean, there's obviously more things you can be asked about this. Say you're given the first term and given the common difference, and you're asked to find the 10th term. So you go ahead and write what you're looking for. The 10th term, indicated by the number 10 next to the A. Well, you know your first term, which is 3, because they gave you that. And you know the common difference also, because they also gave you that. And you're looking for the 10th term. So in the parentheses you put the number you're looking for, 10, minus 1. From there it's just simple math. You solve it out, and what you get is your answer, which is 48 here. Well, what if you're asked to identify whether or not a sequence is arithmetic? Let's say you're given the numbers 5, 8, 11, and 14. All you have to do is decide whether or not it's arithmetic. From 5 to 8, you have to add 3. From 8 to 11, you have to add 3. From 11 to 14, you have to add 3 again. So you do know that it's arithmetic. Unfortunately, it's not always that easy. Let's say that you're given the 10th term of a sequence, which is 55 over 2. And the second term is 7 over 2. And you're asked to find the first term of this sequence. But this leaves us with a problem. We have 2 missing variables. All we know is the number of the term that we're looking for. We need to find the first term and the common difference. So what you do is you break the 7 halves off and the 55 halves off and turn it into its own sequence. 7 halves is now the first term of this sequence. So let's go ahead and set up our formula. So we know the 10th term, which is 55 over 2. And we know the first term, which is 7 over 2. This is where you have to be careful though. 55 over 2 is no longer the 10th term. It's now the 9th term. And then you just solve for d. So now that you know your d value, or the common difference, you can go back up here and solve for your first term. You can use your common difference, which is 3, and just subtract 3 from 7 over 2 to get the first term. But that's not all you can do with an arithmetic sequence. You can find the sum of a certain number of terms of an arithmetic sequence. Here is the formula to find the sum of n number of terms in an arithmetic sequence. The sum of n number of terms equals the number of terms over 2 times 2 times the first term plus the number of terms minus 1 times d, the common difference. Let's do some practice problems. Let's say we're asked to find the sum of the first 30 terms of this arithmetic sequence. Using our formula, the sum of the first 30 terms equals 30 over 2, 2 times the first term, which is 5, plus the number of terms minus 1, times the common difference, which is 2. And you start solving it like you would any other problem. The answer you find is that the sum of the first 30 terms is 1020. In conclusion, arithmetic sequences is when you add or subtract the same number to get the next term of the sequence. There's a formula to find the nth term, and there's a formula to find the sum of a certain number of terms in the sequence. That's really all there is to it. You'll get the hang of it.